So the top 6 costs in your 20s to 40s that will ruin your retirement. In this channel, we primarily talk about personal finance and crypto, but today I think we really have to talk about the choices and costs that you're making today that will ruin your retirement. So the holy trifecta of happiness is health, wealth, and relationships. And it's interesting because I didn't really learn this until I was 27 years old and until I went through a horrible heartbreak. That was when I ran into Russell Brunson's marketing books, you know, the guy who wrote the Secrets books and the founder of ClickFunnels, where I learned about health, wealth, and relationships. And it's fascinating because I did not learn this from family, from friends, nor even school. So I'm primarily talking to anyone living in the United States, or mainly any man living in the United States, but this applies to anyone living in any major city as well. What I find is that I find dating hard and exhausting. It's tough to compete against guys with more money, more clout all around the world, because when it comes to dating nowadays, it really is a global competition with social media apps, you know, dating apps and things like that. So last week I met a girl at our local dance. She's super cute, totally my type. I got her number, I waited a week, and then I called her, actually called her, only to find out before I could ask her out that she had a boyfriend. Now, some major points that I want to point out for those of you guys who are struggling with dating right now: when you get a girl's number, never call her the day after you get her number. Make her wait a bit. Make her yourself mysterious, make her think about you, right? Usually for myself, I wait 3 days after getting her number until I call her to set up a date, which is for the next week. Except in this case, it was not 3 days, it was like at the end of the week because I had a lot of things going on. I was busy, you know, God's purpose and all. So the first mental health cost is selfishness. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that when a girl who has a boyfriend gives out her number to another man, that is pretty selfish. Now, I know a lot of girls do this, you know, they want to set up the potential next boyfriend while she's still dating the current one. But here's the thing with men, I think that men aren't gentlemanly at all. It's pretty selfish of them to keep chasing a girl, even finding out that she has a boyfriend. That is just something that is not gentlemanly at all, and I'm guilty of this in the past, but it's just something that you shouldn't do. So you guys know the time when you meet someone and y'all really have chemistry, you really resonate. You know, it only happened for me a handful of times. It's really, really rare. But before even the first date, after you get her number, you already start thinking about her carrying your children. Guys, if you know what I'm talking about and you thought about this, then please smash the like button and comment I'm guilty, because for myself, I certainly am. Even with the last story, that is something that occurred to me in my mind. That brings me to the second mental health cost: low resiliency. When you meet a girl, you really like her, it's natural for you to think about her carrying your children, but it's how you respond that matters. Low resiliency is you as a man reacting to her responses. And I remember 5-6 years ago, I was seeing this girl and I asked her to be my girlfriend, right? But I got rejected instead. And how I reacted was with frustration, right? It was completely immature. I did not find peace and calm. But now what I do is I ask the question, all right, what would Jesus do? Well, he'd probably hug them, love them, and then go on his way, because there's more world out there, there's more women, there's more men out there that, you know, need someone. So that's how you should respond when it comes to resiliency. So you want to have these mental and spiritual problems taken care of early, because you don't want to have these costs in your 60s. I remember a friend of mine who's in her 60s and she is single. She's struggling with dating, but she was dating this guy who was also in her 60s. And this guy was trying to coerce her into a relationship with material things like houses, cars, things like that. Of course, she didn't bite, and how he reacted was with complete frustration. You don't want to be that guy. So the third spiritual health cost, being the emotional rock. As a man, you have to be the rock in her emotional storm. All the other Sims are sinkable boats, but not you. And being an emotional rock has to be value-led, and it's one of the hardest things that you'll ever find yourself doing. But the girl from 5 years ago who rejected me, well, she came back after things not working out with her boyfriend, which was one of the reasons I think I got rejected. And that was the hardest, no, I think it's best we stay out of each other's lives right now, that I ever had to do. Be the emotional rock. All of these costs that I talk about, they all culminate to the fourth spiritual health cost, which is loneliness. So after a no-go, it's going to be back to the drawing board. And you might think that you're the only one, but most guys in their 20s and 40s, I feel like, are in the same place. They're all single and they're struggling with loneliness. I know that I certainly was. Before I found Jesus, I felt loneliness more often than I want to admit. But the major question is, do you want to fix these costs now, or do you want to be in the same position 10 years later? Because like I said, all of these costs build up on each other, and if you don't fix them, they're gonna ruin your retirement. The fifth financial cost is no money, no partner, because loneliness accompanies the broke. If you don't have money, you're not gonna have choice. You're only gonna get what you're served. And I don't think anyone wants that. And hypergamy is a real thing. What's hypergamy? Well, women usually only want to date guys at the same status or up. All the content, all the side hustles is for me to be able to have choice. And as a man, I would rather want to shape my fate than be served it. It's just what you want. This all leads to the sixth financial cost, which I call survival mode or not. If you don't know where you're gonna be in 10 years, you're already there. That was from Tom Bilyeu. And after much reflection and figuring out all of these costs, I asked myself the question, do I wanna be in this position 10 years later? Do you really want to be selfish, be broke, be lonely, having that low resiliency, having no choice, no emotional control? If not, then these are the costs that you have to work on right now in your 20s to 40s, ideally, so you won't have them later on in your retirement. And if you're struggling right now, asking yourself, should I really work on these costs? Think about it this way. The next time you're rejected, and it will happen because people get rejected all the time, do you want to weather that with love? Do you want to hug her, love her, wish her the best, and move on because there's more world out there? Or do you want to be frustrated? Because if you're curious about what happens if you don't get these costs fixed, you'll find this in my next video where I talk about a millionaire who has all of these unpaid costs we just talked about, but he's lonely and depressed. And guys, he's a millionaire.